Okay, Shalom, Shalom, Kwam Yasha Allah, Koholoyim La Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, Bahashim Hakudash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, and that by the Spirit taught us this beautiful truth. And just want to say the water to the H.I.M and Akwap. That's out here sincerely keeping the laws, the statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai to the best of their ability. This is Hanan Nawaf just coming at you with another quick lesson, praying that it's edifying by the Spirit. And was reading through the, just starting the book of Psalms. I'm like, let me go back to the beginning. Let me start book 1. And it's only 6 verses. And all the Psalms are beautiful, man. Apostle Rakah, he'll always say, hey, go into them Psalms, especially if you're feeling down, if you're not feeling well, or, just to get some encouragement. These are some great books to go into. But let's start from the top. And it's entitled The Righteous and the Wicked Contrasted. And that's basically what it's going off into within these 6 verses. It says, verse 1, Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly. See that? Or the wicked. Nor standeth in the way of sinners. Nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. In NLT. So it's basically giving you a blueprint, as to how to basically be blessed, stay blessed, so to speak, if you're moving about in this particular mode. It says, the joys of those who do not follow the advice of the wicked, or stand around with sinners, or join in with mockers. Now, let's grab a precept to, let's grab 2 precepts for this verse. First off, let's go to Proverbs. Chapter 4 and 14. And it reads, Enter not into the path of the wicked, and go not in the way of evil men. And it's pretty self-explanatory. The scripture talks about following not a multitude to do wicked or evil. You have to kind of watch your company, so to speak. If a person that's just, I keep it pretty simple myself. You know what I'm saying? I don't hang around a lot of people unless it's, the brethren, because a lot of people, they just don't have, anything in common. We don't have anything in common. If, of course, the unbeliever and the believer have absolutely nothing in common. It's only so much you can say to them. We have to work with them. We have to do what we have to do. General conversation, you're just putting on a game face, and, you got to deal with maybe the neighbor next door. They may say hi. You might conversate for a minute. You might even, even with your family, your brothers, your sisters, your mom, your dad, it's going to be, you got to keep the conversations pretty quick and simple in a sense, you can chill and have dinner, whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? But certain conversations, it's kind of best to steer clear from. Especially the biblical ones, especially if you have explained to them the scriptures already, because it just goes off into, you can get into arguments and stuff like that, this, that, and the third. I remember when I first came into the truth, me and my dad, we had a gang of heated conversations, man. And then it just, as I was started to learn, like, I'm wasting my time. You know what I'm saying? Why even continue? He's heard. He knows what's up. I've told him what's up. As far as the gospel, you know what I'm saying? And he clearly doesn't want it. He rejects it. So we have to leave it at that. You know what I'm saying? And we have to accept the fact that all of our family members are not going to come into this truth. So, you got to, keep your conversations and your company kind of got to keep people at a distance, so to speak, You know what I'm saying? You just have to. You really have to. And especially when it comes to friends that you was hanging out with before you came into the truth, the ones that you used to smoke with, the ones you used to go out and do the bullshit with, you know what I'm saying? You got to most definitely stay away from them. You got to kind of really play them at a distance. Because eventually they're going to stop messing with you anyway if you're truly, truly into this truth. If you're truly into this truth, they're not going to want to deal with you because you're going to, exhibit change. And that's what you should be doing, exhibiting change, man. So let's get that again. It says, enter not into the path of the wicked, and go not in the way of evil men. Verse 15, it says, avoid it, pass not by it, turn from it, and pass away. It says, for they sleep not, except they have done mischief, and their sleep is taken away unless they cause some to fall. And we all know, know some people like that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's people that sit up all night long, man, talking shit, drinking, smoking, and talking about what they're gonna do to somebody, or gossiping, or just going through a feed on Facebook and girl, she said this, or you see what this nigga said, a bunch of rambling and a bunch of gossiping and a bunch of bullshit. So you got to steer clear of them people, man. They get you into stuff, and the Lord don't like it. You see what I'm saying? So let's go back. No matter of fact, I wanted to get one more precept out of that verse. Jeremiah 15 and 17. Lock you. Not gonna be a long lesson. Like I said, it's only 6 verses in this, but beautiful verses, man. Jeremiah 15 and 17. Let me start at verse. Let me see. Yeah, let me just get to the point. Verse 17. I sat not in the assembly of the mockers, nor rejoiced. I sat alone because of thy hand, for thou hast filled me with indignation. And the NLT over here says, I never joined the people in their merry feast. I sat alone because of your hand, because your hand was on me. I was filled with indignation at their sins. And that's pretty much, that's the reason why you really don't want to be around them, because, I guess, it just pisses you off to even hear their conversation. To even see what they're into, the way that they think is off, man. And if the Lord is dealing with you and you're into this truth, it's going to vex you, man. And it's going to get you, it's going to be some conversations had, little heated conversations at that. So it's best to just not even, even be around them, because you already know how they're going to get down. You pretty much know how they speak. You know how they talk. You know how they think. It's all about wickedness for them. They're all carnal. They can't even, conversate on anything spiritual. So what's the use in really fucking with them like that, I mean, like I said, you're going to come across your people. Of course, you're not going to be rude like all this. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to talk to you. I mean, you can speak to them and kick it with them and talk with them. But, you got to use wisdom about what it is that you're talking with them about, and keep that shit short, man. Because, me personally, I don't want to hear a bunch of bullshit. I don't want to hear you gossiping about somebody. I don't need to know about what such and such is doing. I don't need to know, you know what I'm saying? Hey, how you doing? Oh, you all right? Okay, cool. A little bit of conversation, and I'm on my way. I'm not trying to come and hang out to watch games with you, TV with you, no movies with you. I prefer to just spend all that time to myself, reading some scripture or listening to a brother in the truth bring out an edifying video or something like that, man. I'm not, nah. I don't want to jump in the ride with you. We're not going to ride nowhere. I'm not going to hang out with you. I'm not going to the bar with you. I'm not going to dinner with you. I'm not going to the damn zoo. I'm not going to a game. I don't give a shit. I don't want to be bothered. Me personally, that's me. I know some people have different personalities and they can deal a little bit better with stuff like that. But me personally, man, I like my, I just like to just be to myself overall in this truth if it's not one of the brothers, But anyway, let's go back to Psalms. Chapter 1. Let's go to verse 2. It says, let me start back at verse 1. Again, blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. See, you're blessed if you do that, man. It says, but his delight, check it out, but your delight right here. But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in the law doeth he meditate day and night. So if your delight is in the Lord, you're blessed, man. You meditating on it day and night. That's why it's hard for you to be around, me personally, that's why it's hard for me to be around certain people. Because, I'm constantly meditating on the word day and night. You know what I'm saying? When you come across people and as soon as they say something just out of the way, it's just like, it's just, because you want to stay in the spirit. And if you meditating on the scriptures day and night, then, just the slightest little thing that a person that's not in this truth does, it messes with you. Like, you're like, man, come on, bro. But, I mean, even as you're conversating with people, you have to, you're using wisdom. So it's not like you like what the Bible says. Because you don't always have to come at somebody like what the Bible says. You can still hit them with the scriptures and not even have to use that phrase. Like, well, you know what, bro, like for instance, I got a neighbor next door or whatever, and I've always tried to explain the truth to him and stuff like that. I've been kicking it with him for a few years, but it got to a point where I was just kind of like, you know what, let me cut it out. He's not getting it. And, I still, he be asking questions. So, I have to, give him the straight skimmy. You know what I'm saying? So I bring the scriptures out with him. But overall, I mean, it's like he's not getting it, man. So it's like, I'd have shortened my conversation with him when it comes to certain stuff. It's just like, like, oh, okay. When a person is conversating with you and their whole conversation is okay. Oh, okay. Oh, I see. Oh, for real? Just some little short little answers. Then that kind of, that lets you know like, hey, man, I'm done. And that's pretty much what I done kind of got down to with this guy or whatever. But, the conversation is just like, I don't want to hear that shit, bro. You keep coming at me and asking me about stuff, and I'm giving you the advice from the scriptures. I'm giving you what the Lord said to do, and you're not taking it. So why am I throwing this goodness to the dog, so to speak, roughly paraphrasing? Or why you sharing your this blessing or this goodness with swine, man? Because they don't get it. They trample on it. That's what the scripture talks about. They don't respect it. Here you go. You asking me for advice because you know that I'm into what I'm into, basically. But then when I give you the advice, I bring it out. I give it to you in the scriptures, and then you don't take the advice. And how I know you're not taking the advice is because you coming back at me every time I see you. It's the same shit. Like, dude, I'm not gonna keep talking to you about the same old thing. I ain't gonna get off into his, telling his, what it was all about, But yeah, like, nah, bro, I'm straight, man. I'm good. Now, I want to speak to you as quickly as I can to keep moving. Hey, what's up? That's pretty much all I want to, all I'm trying to do right now. Okay, but it says, again, but his delight is in the law of the Lord. And in the law doeth he meditate day and night. So your delight should be in his law, man. Your delight should be in what the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai said, these scriptures, man. Because looking back and looking at, you be looking at people, you like, man, yeah, damn, I'm so glad I done come out of that. And I'm so the water Yahweh about. That's a reason to be thankful to Yahweh, man. When you see the lives that people are living and knowing that you used to live that exact way and he called you out of that shit, like, you should feel special, man. You really should be, thanking Yahweh about Shem Yahushai, man, that he called you out of that lifestyle. Motherfuckers arguing, constantly bickering, you know. They're not getting along in the house, as far as the spouses, they're not getting along in the household. The kids are all out of fucking order. You know what I'm saying? See, with this truth, it brings peace. Even though we go through things, you know what I'm saying? But at least the scriptures gives you the blueprint as to how to go through it, which brings peace, man. Anyway, let's get verse 3. And he shall be like a plant, and he shall be like a tree, planted by the rivers of water, that bringeth forth his fruit in his season. His leaf also shall not wither, and whatsoever he doeth shall prosper. See that? So you have to imagine a tree by a river. If you're, familiar with plants and things of that nature, you know that you have to water plants, of course, or else they're gonna wither. But a tree that's planted by a river, that tree is gonna grow serious roots. The roots are gonna grow a lot further down than an average tree that's just out in the open. You know what I'm saying? It's water underneath the ground of a river. Even if the river may get low, it's still gonna be water underneath that soil where that tree is still getting all its proper nutrients. So basically, you're gonna flourish, man. And pretty much that's what it's saying. You're gonna flourish. You're gonna prosper. You're gonna be good when everybody dries out, when shit good, hits the fans out here. You're gonna be still steady. You're gonna be still stable. They're gonna rot out and blow away. You know what I'm saying? And you're gonna be stable, man. You see what I'm saying? So, matter of fact, though, let's see here. That's that verse 3. Let's get Jeremiah 17 and 8 real quick. Let's get a precept in there. Jeremiah 17:8, and it reads, "For he shall be as a tree planted by the waters, and that spreadeth out her roots by the river." See? "And shall not see when heat cometh, but her leaf shall be green, and shall not be careful in the year of drought, neither shall cease from yielding fruit." So when a tree doesn't have no water, of course it just dries up, it withers, you know what I'm saying? Eventually it dies out. But a tree, see, you're a tree that's planted by water. So you imagine that's like a carnal person. A carnal person is no more than a tree without water. They're slowly phasing away. You know, trees can last for a while, you know what I'm saying, before they die out, because they have somewhat of a reserve when it comes to water. But eventually it has to rain again before, you know what I'm saying, so that reserve can be refilled. But if there's no rain and it runs through the reserves, then eventually it's sucked dry, so to speak, and it the leaves start to get brittle, the branches start to rot out. You start to see, and that's pretty much a wicked person, man, or a carnal person. Now, a spiritual person that's into this truth, they're at a river. Rivers always flowing. It don't even need the rain. See, a tree that's out there in the open, it needs rain to flourish. But a tree that's by a river, if it never rains, it's still gonna flourish. Why? Because there's water running. It's water running right next to it. You see what I'm saying? That's the difference. And the scripture talks about uh basically roughly paraphrasing, he that gets this truth, their belly will be filled with living water, or it's living water that comes forth from you in this truth, man. This truth, this word, these scriptures, they water you. They feed you. That's why the Lord said, you can't live by bread alone. You see what I'm saying? You can't live by regular food. You need these scriptures, man, because other than that, you through. You see what I'm saying? But that's a beautiful precept right there. Let's go back. Let me wrap it on up. I was gonna just really kind of like go to verse 4, but we can just read through it all to grab a couple of precepts. But so let's get at verse 4. It says, let me start back at verse 3 for this context. It says, "And he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water, that bringeth forth his fruit in his season. His leaf also shall not wither, and whatsoever he doeth shall prosper." Verse 4. "The ungodly are not so," see, "but are like the shaft, which the wind driveth away." See that? It says the ungodly are not so, man. You can't get around it. In the NLT it says, "But not the wicked. They are like worthless shaft, scattered by the wind." And then basically, like right now it's fall season. Me and my dad, he came by and helped me out. He's out doing the leaves, and I like to rake or whatever, you know what I'm saying, just to get the exercise. But he brought his leaf blower, and he blowing the leaves, and that's what that is. It's just shaft. It's just shit. Just as soon as a whiff of wind come through, it blows that shit through, and you don't see it no more. And that's what it's saying. It says, "With the ungodly," it says, "the ungodly are not so, but are like the shaft which the wind driveth away." See, that's the carnal, man, the ungodly, the wicked. And that's 2/3 of Jake, 2/3 of our people, man, are gonna be wiped away, man, in that manner, man. Let's see, precept there. Let's get Job 21:18 on that particular verse. Okay, it says they are. Let me see. I want to start. Let me see if I start up. Yeah, let me start at 17. It says, "How oft is the candle of the wicked put out, and how oft cometh their destruction upon them?" So basically, it's saying, how often do the wicked, do the candle of the wicked be put out, man? And how often cometh their destruction upon them? It says, "Yahweh distributed sorrows in his anger." So the Lord, he's angry. And the scripture talks about how the Lord is he's angry with the sinners, on a day-to-day basis, just all day long. The Lord, you know what I'm saying? But you have these Christians teaching that the Lord, he loves everybody. that he loves everything, that you can just do what you want to do, and everything is gonna be just fine. But right here it says Yahweh distributed sorrows in his anger, man. It says, hey, the candle of the wicked will be blown out, and destruction come upon the destruction comes upon them, man. It says they are as stubble before the wind, and as shaft that the storm carrieth away. Can you imagine a storm? You know what I'm saying, man? It's storms that pick up cars and move them, miles away. It's storms that come through and remove entire buildings. So just imagine a leaf. Come on, man. And the Lord is not playing no games, man. Yahweh layeth up his iniquity for his children. He rewardeth him, and he shall know it. Whew. In the NLT it says, well, you say at least God will punish their children. But I say, how should he punish the ones who sin, so that they understand his judgment? Hey, look, man, hey, the Lord is cold, man. I don't want no smoke with the Lord. I don't know about anybody else. I mean, if you're into this truth, you should know. Look, man, you should have a healthy fear of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, man. But that's what happens with the ungodly. They don't have no fear of the Lord. They don't actually know what could really happen to them. They don't know. They really just think that the Lord loves everybody and loves everything. That's Christianity, though. Come as you are, do as thou wilt. They have no idea. It never crosses their mind that the Lord killed off the whole entire population, man, except for 8 people during the flood. They don't think about that, man. But anyway, let's finish this on up. Psalms 1, I think we have verse 5. It says, therefore the ungodly shall not stand in judgment, nor sinners in the congregation of the righteous. For the Lord Yahweh knoweth the way of the righteous, but the way of the ungodly shall perish. And there you have it, man. There you have it. Let me get a precept on verse 6 real quick. Let's get that Psalms. Psalms, man, it's beautiful books. It's beautiful books in here. 37 and 18. I read this book the other day too. Psalms 37. Yeah, man, the Lord not playing no games out here. Going on verse 18. Let's see here. Salakia. It says, Yahweh knoweth the days of the upright, and their inheritance shall be forever. They shall not be ashamed in the evil time, and in the days of famine they shall be satisfied. But the wicked shall perish, and the enemies of the Lord shall be as the fat of lambs. They shall consume, and to smoke shall they consume away. Can you imagine that? Smoke you see how smoke, when you see smoke, it moves? It just moves, you know what I'm saying? And then eventually it's just gone. This is how the Lord talking about he's going to remove the wicked, man. His enemies. It says, but the wicked shall perish, and the enemies of Yahweh shall be as the fat of lambs. They shall consume. You know, a fat be burning. It drips. It melts away, so to speak, almost like butter. It says, they shall consume. Into smoke shall they consume away. Whew. Hey, man, the Lord is not playing no games. Anyway, though, like I said, I didn't want to keep the lesson long, but that's the book of Psalms, chapter 1. Verses 1 through 6, a couple of precepts in there. And, hey, like I said, the apostle, he said read through the Psalms. I was doing it anyway. When he said it, I was like, yep, apostle, right on that. That's one of my favorite books to get it in. I try and read a chapter out of there at least every day. But beautiful books, man. But as you can see, the Lord, he made a difference between the godly and the ungodly, the righteous and the unrighteous, man. It's 2 separate trips for both of them. And you want to be on the side of the godly, man. You want to be on the spiritual side, not the carnal side. So examine yourself, you know what I'm saying, on a day-to-day basis, man. So with that, I pray that this lesson was edifying. Kwam Yashalom.